Regan Slaymaker for Notjustboxing. I have the pleasure to be joined by dazzling Darren Barker, former IBF middleweight world champion. I'm going to remind everyone, and Southern area, and British and European, two-time European.
I paid him to say all this, by the way.
He didn't. Tony Sims did, actually. But you know, there we go. But Darren, we're here at 3 Point Lane for the press conference for Benn versus Eubank Jr. Are you as excited for this fight as I am? Because I'm buzzing for this one.
Who isn't excited? The incident that occurred on Tuesday has elevated this into something spectacular. This is a Wembley Stadium fight now. It's just hit the back pages of all
former WBO super featherweight world champion Barry Jones.
I'm on telly. All right, mate.
What's it like talking bollocks for everything?
So I remind
we're blagging it, haven't we? You got a filter on there.
What's that? I was just in the camera. Darren Barker!
Hey, we cracked it, Mum, on telly.
Scammers!
Shout out former WBO super featherweight world champion
Bazza, my
Barry
wingman.
Jones.
My fucking wingman. Yeah, the fight is massive now. It really, it's just massive. It's elevated it to another level. When it hits the back pages, it crosses over to not just the boxing fan, the sports fan, the casual, and I'm still not thrilled about the whole egg incident, and I sound like a Victor Melge, you miserable old git, and I've said this in a couple of interviews, because I look at the young kids, and I don't want them to think this is how you carry on. You look at last weekend, Bivol Beterbiev, and that's two classy individuals, two typically Eastern Bloc personalities that don't say a great deal, but they let their boxing do the talking, and there is an issue to that, because this fight isn't nearly as big as if nothing happens, if they're just sort of Benn and a Eubank. The fact that a Benn and a Eubank is never going to get along. The dads don't like each other, they don't like each other, their offspring won't like each other. As long as there's Benn and Eubanks on planet Earth, they are never going to get along. But that adds to the whole buzz, so I get it. But I'm just so protective over this beautiful, fantastic sport that I worry sometimes. But the likes of Barry and the rest of them be like, shut up, you big tart. And I get it. But yeah. That's old age, that is. I'm just becoming miserable. And,
Shut up, you big tart is now my title of this interview, Darren, so I'm just going to let you know that. But, I mean, how, obviously, you're, it's fair to say, part of the Tony Sims. So have you got to kind of take yourself, obviously you do this as a living, so you're very good at that, Darren, but have you got to kind of take yourself a bit further out of that, where kind of Tony Sims is so heavily invested in Conor? And
yeah, of course. And
you obviously know Conor for a long time.
Look, we're all human, and it's very difficult to remain impartial, but I think as time's going by, and some people may laugh at this and say, what's he talking about? But I think you have to realise you can't be everyone's friend, and I try my best to be as impartial as possible. But it's hard when you know the individual. I always find that when I'm commentating, if somebody's winning the fight, I look at what the other fighter should be doing. So it may look at times that I'm favouring, I'm going off on one here, like I'm favouring the other fighter. It's not. I feel that the fighter that's doing well doesn't really need my comments. It's more the other fighter that I'm thinking they should be doing this to get back into the fight or to be able to do better. And sometimes I think that comes across as being biased, right? I don't mean to, but you live and learn, and it's all experience. Will absolutely do my best to remain impartial, and I'm sure you're going to ask my prediction, but I'll give it to you now. Like, my prediction right now is I struggle to pick a winner on points. I don't know who would win the fight on points, but I think it's Benn early, Eubank late.
But so you're predicting a stoppage either way as well?
I think so. I just don't think that at the pace this is going to fight, that the pace this fight is going to go at from the first bell, I just don't think it can possibly go 12 rounds. I'm just thinking as I'm scratching my head there, I just don't think there is 12 rounds in this fight. It could go mid-rounds, it could go early, it could go late. It's going to be fought at a frantic pace set by Conor Benn early on. He's going to come out all guns blazing and just try and rip Eubank's head off. And then it's a case of how does Eubank combat that? Does he look to mix fire with fire? Does he look to get his physical advantages into the fight? And that doesn't mean necessarily trying to be bullish and outgun your opponent. It's how do you do that? And I'm intrigued by the whole thing. And these are what the fights that I look forward to, because I can't wait for it to unfold. The energy, when the fighters go to the referee just before the first bell. Can you imagine that atmosphere as they go back to the corner, that couple of seconds before the first bell? It's giving me goosebumps thinking about it. It's going to be unbelievable.
Do you think we're going to get like a Tyson Lennox Lewis police through the centre?
I don't think we're going to need that. I think they'll understand that they're moments away from being able to rip each other's heads off. So, I don't think we're going to have to go that far. Maybe today.
Yeah, definitely. There's one fight on this card that's your old division, Liam Smith versus Aaron McKenna. It's a fight that's intriguing me because every time I think Liam Smith's the clear favourite, it also reminds myself that every time Aaron McKenna steps up, he actually looks better and better and better. Like, I want to get your opinion on that fight, Liam Smith versus Aaron McKenna.
I haven't done my prep on this fight yet, but from what I do know of both, I think we can all agree it's going to be a brilliant fight. It's going to be a really, really good fight. Something that you end up doing when you sort of get a lot more longer in the tooth in this game and more experience. You revert to a different type of fighting where you're quite happy to hold your feet a bit more and slip and slide because you're so used to being having shots coming your way, so you neglect sometimes your strong fundamentals. And I think with Liam Smith, he's so experienced now, he's just happy to be in your face and let big shots go. And he has always been like that, but it was a lot more cute back in the day, where now he's happy just to get in your face and let big bombs go. McKenna, we know what he's all about, and I'm going with experience. I'm going with just that know-how at the top level. So I'm going with Smith, and they're on a real good run at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Even with Stephen in the corner, there's just a real buzz with the Smiths still. Callum having that victory in Riyadh is really going to give Liam an extra percentage, and I just think they're in a real good position in a minute and in a good place. But it's a great fight.
It definitely is as well. Before we round up, I do want to talk about, we were just in Riyadh for Better Bivol 2. I mean, the whole week was mad, but I think that, that's my first time in Riyadh. I think I was talking to you out there. It was absolutely crazy. But
there on a media day, were we? Rubbing shoulders with all
mate, it was amazing. Getting compliments from Darren Barker and Adi Oladipo. What more do I want? But that fight between Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol was by far one of the best fights I've ever seen live.
Yeah,
I mean, can
agreed.
I just get your opinion on the absolutely unbelievable fight between two of the best in the world at the moment?
In my whole career, Regan, and this is as a fighter and as a broadcaster, I would say there's 24 rounds that I have witnessed between the two of them have certainly been one of my biggest highlights, being involved in boxing. Two quiet men, if you like, that just let their fists do the talking, and it reminds me of myself. No way near as good as them in any way, so don't take that out of content, but the way where I just wanted to box and let that do the talking. I was never a big talker. I'm really a shy person. You wouldn't think it, but I am. And I was just in awe of what they put on the line, and it was an honour to have been involved. That will live with me forever, those two fights. They really were. It was just a great clash of styles, so much on the line, both heavily supported. The fan zone, I think, was 53 to 47. It was so close. Even the result at the end of both fights, a lot of people going with Beterbiev, most with Bivol for both, but just shows you, and I've said this, and I don't know if I said it in this interview, I said it in the last one, they're boxing soulmates. They are perfect for each other. They are perfect for one another. If they were to fight 100 times, 100 fights would be epic. So it was a joy to have been involved in, and I pinch myself, Regan, every single time I go to these fights or these events. It's just, I'm living the dream.
Definitely. I mean, I was living the dream alongside people like yourself doing interviews, so it was great. And I just want to get, what was your pick of the bunch from the undercard? Because my last one, Darren.
For me, it was an honour. Sat with Barry Jones doing the Smith-Boazzi as a lead commentator, without a shadow of a doubt. That's a highlight of my career as well as a broadcaster. And that fight was brilliant. Two domestic light heavyweights from this country, so much on the line. Buatsi's WBO interim title, the opportunity to push on and fight the winner of the main event. It was a battle, wasn't it? You know, round 6 was epic. So yeah, that was definitely the pick.
Wicked, Darren. I'll leave it there. Hopefully, catch up with you in Belfast on the weekend, mate.
Legend.
Cheers, Darren.
You will do, mate.
Thank you very much.
Go, 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 go.